Pleasant good evening, and I had to welcome to News R. In this edition, Sierra Leone observes first anniversary of August 14 mudslide and flash floods that killed hundreds in Freetown. After being addressed by President Biya, Sierra Leonean pilgrims leave for this year's Hajj, and Sierra Leone joins the world to celebrate International Youth Day. All these stories and more, plus sports and business are lined up in this edition of News R. I am Alice Mayoma Thompson. Stay tuned. It's been a year since the August 14 disasters. Well, the August 14 twin disasters left many people homeless, as many homes were washed away by the flash floods. Up to this moment, nobody knows the number of people who lost their lives to that disaster. SLBC's Surba Samuel was at the scene of the disaster and engaged some forest guards who were there before the incident.
This is Motome. Last year, that is August 14th, 2017, disaster took place here by way of mudslide. As you can see, that is a mudslide area. That hill blasted and came down, covering hundreds of people in this area. Today marks the first anniversary of the death of hundreds of people. Hundreds more have been buried inside this mud, as you see. We have come here to see, 1 year on, how has Motome got on. Because this is the epicenter of the disaster. Some of these officers you see, they used to be here stopping people. They instituted the red belt according to Abubakar. They instituted the red belt so that people could not go beyond it.
We protect people from going to the forest, stone logging, wood cutting, protect them so that they could not cut any of the tree, they could not mine any of the stone at this place. Before the disaster,
can you be able to describe to us where we are standing now? What was here, right here, what was here?
Here used to be a house. Used to be a house. People dwell in that house.
You knew people who were living in this house?
I knew some of them. I knew some of them, like Brains, Chair Lady. I knew most of them. Their names as well.
And you also said you have come here in remembrance of one of your colleagues. Where was he living?
He was living at right behind us here.
And what is his name?
Mohammed Sandi. He was a game guard, a forester.
He was resident here?
He was resident here because we deployed him here so that he can watch on our behalf to see no one cross our green belt.
This is the biggest boulder which came down on that day. You can imagine a boulder of this sort coming down from these hills. And as we see, this boulder, ever since it came down, nobody has ever moved, in fact attempted to move it from here. A lot of people think this is the biggest killer in this whole disaster. A boulder of this kind coming down, just to hear the sound of it coming down means death for some people. Lest we talk about it coming down on people. This is just the disaster. Abubakar, is it true that this boulder fell on a house?
Yeah, there used to be a house here.
Right here?
Right here.
So it means this boulder fell on top of a house?
On top of a house.
How big that house was, do we know?
Yeah, it's like...
One story?
Like a flat house.
It was a single house?
A single house. There is 4 rooms and parlor house.
4 rooms apartment house?
Yes.
Here?
Here.
And ever since this boulder came down, has anybody attempted to shift it?
Nobody attempted, even Danos did not attempt to shift it.
The August 14 incident also put to test Sierra Leone's disaster preparedness. The country's main mortuary was full to its capacity as dead bodies were packed in rows in the courts, yet because the morgue was unable to accommodate the number of dead bodies. Francis Barnard was at the Connaught mortuary 1 year after that environmental calamity.
Hundreds of corpses were kept. The victims were those that died in the August 14, 2017 mudslide at Motome, Kaningo and other areas in Freetown. This mortuary took more than its capacity. The site was not good to see. But what does those that worked here on that day made up of this situation?
Well, on that particular day, I could remember because since I have started working at the mortuary, we never received short corpses, piles in hundreds of numbers. So I was instructed by my boss, who is the consultant for racing pathologist, Dr. Simonius Kuruma, who worked tremendously together with us as a team because he has trained us to us an engagement in short disaster whenever it occurred. It's really a magnitude of natural disaster that left hundreds of Sierra Leoneans dead and hundreds of Sierra Leoneans homeless. We have received over 200 corpses, my brother, And my experience on that particular day, it was a terrible day in my life, because we worked day in, day out until the first burial was organized at Bolima at Waterloo. Because the first burial was, we decided to organize it because it was body part. And if we allow them at that time to stay at the mortuary, the fragrant smell of the entire hospital will be pungent. So we decided to bury the first batch of people because they are difficult to identify. The second batch, they came well, but the problem is that I advised, and the pathologist also advised the government to provide a fund or a chemical to preserve short body.
Well, that was Sinek Kamara talking there to Al Ibrahim Samura. Sinek Kamara was a coroner technician who worked at the mortuary on that fateful day. Well, hundreds of Sierra Leoneans who perished in the disaster were buried at the Paloko Cemetery just outside Waterloo. But what is the present condition of the cemetery? SLBC's Sheila Reffel takes a look.
On August 14, 2017, the historic mudslide and flooding event occurred which left more than 500 people dead. It was a solemn moment in Sierra Leone as the government gave the victims a dignified burial at the Paloko Road Cemetery in Waterloo. Jonathan Towle, a volunteer worker at the Paloko Road Cemetery, Waterloo, told SLBC that the cemetery was established in 2014 during the Ebola outbreak and that they have dug more than 290 graves.
More than 290%, but then 225 is only covered with people. Because we have mass graves, so I don't know how many people we have here. But the total graves with headstones here, they are 225 total, including the 5 mass graves.
Another volunteer at the Paloko Cemetery, Sambature, called on government to pay special attention to them and to start paying them salaries and provide tools for them to take care of the cemetery.
We appeal to everybody in the country.
At first, when the mudslide incidents occurred, the council gave us stipends every week. But just after the end of the burial, they stopped giving us. We also need tools to clean the cemetery.
If they not promise back for pay, but we need tools.
Well, today marks the first anniversary of the mudslide and flash floods that killed hundreds at Mount Sugarloaf. The August 14 disaster was described as the worst environmental disaster in the country's history. To mark the day, there were a series of organized activities, while at the St. Paul's Seminary Regent, an interfaith service was held, attended by President Bio. Hawa Mosiri reports.
President Julius Maada Bio has assured Sierra Leoneans that he will make sure that the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Country Planning, in collaboration with National Protected Area Authority, monitor disaster-prone areas, especially Mount Sugarloaf, for citizens not to construct houses in such areas in order to prevent disaster in the country. He said that was why when he was informed by the United Nations about the red alert, his administration immediately set up a committee to resettle families from the red zones, later demolished most of the houses that were constructed there and provided resettlement packages for affected people.
On the back of the memories of the Civil War and the recent Ebola outbreak, this is yet another sad chapter in the history of our beloved country. On this fateful day, 500 Sierra Leoneans disappeared and over 8,000 were made homeless, and that includes men, women and children in the middle of the rainy season.
The president commended humanitarian organizations that came to the aid of the survivors on that day till now, as his government continues to prevent citizens from residing in disaster-prone areas. President Bio told the gathering that his government will transform the disaster-prone area into a national park.
My government will continue to be proactive by taking measures to prevent disasters and not just react to disasters. This commemoration is not the time and place to apportion blame and responsibility as to whether this terrible event was in fact a natural disaster that had no control, that we had no control over, or that was a man-made disaster and we contributed to creating the conditions for this terrible disaster.
The United Nations Resident Coordinators Neil Silger noted that according to the World Bank ranking 2017, Sierra Leone ranks into the top most vulnerable disaster risk countries worldwide, and disaster, both natural and man-made, have destroyed or at very least several disrupted the achievements of Sierra Leone's development objectives in recent decades. He said the mudslide disaster of August 2017 raised awareness about prevention and preparedness, as well as the critical need for longer-term environment protection. It is hoped that all future investments in sustainable development will be risk-informed.
The disaster brought about, yet again, a clear demonstration of the ability of the international community to work closely together in partnership with national authorities to support the government-led response. I'm very pleased to note that the United Nations family were also among the first responders.
President of the Council of Churches of Sierra Leone, Bishop John Yambasu, who did the reflection, stated that hundreds of children also lost their lives in the last year tragedy. These children, Bishop Yambasu noted, that went to sleep expecting better tomorrow, but could not wake up again. He said this tragedy came to mind for those who lost their lives in the civil conflict and the Ebola epidemic, calling on the president to declare August 14 as a national holiday.
Mr. President, sir, on behalf of the people of this nation, I want to appeal to you to bring all this to an end. We need sanity in our country. We are too sick of this mess. Sierra Leoneans have suffered for far too long. We deserve better than this. Yes. Enough is enough. Yes. We want to live in peace and with dignity in our country.
Other Islamic scholars and bishops also prayed for the country and survivors and the prevention of other disasters in the country. SABC TV News are in Freetown. Hawa Mosue reporting.
The executive chairperson of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has said that the new direction is here to encourage investors to invest in the country in an environmentally friendly manner for sustainable development. Dr. Fode Jawad made the statement during a familiarization visit to mining and agricultural companies in the southern and eastern regions. Sheikh Sumaila has more.
This visit was to acquaint himself with senior management of the companies and have a foresight on how they are carrying on with their mining and agricultural activities, with a special focus on respect for EPA Acts and other environmental agreements to which Sierra Leone is a signatory. Vimetco, Sierra Leone Mineral Holding Limited, Sierra Rutile, Sokfin, Allotrops Diamond Company Limited, Goldtree, Sierra Diamonds and Stellar Diamonds were among the first set of companies visited by the new executive chairperson of the Environment Protection Agency, Dr. Fode Jawad, and his director, Moduba. At all mining and agricultural companies visited by the new EPA boss in both Pujehun, Bo, Kenima, Kailaun, and Moamba districts, authorities assured the new executive chairperson that they are doing everything to meet their environmental protection obligations and that they are at all times ready to comply with EPA to ensure a better environment in communities they operate. The executive chairperson of EPA, Dr. Fode Jawad, said the new direction will create the enabling environment for investors to invest in the country, but that they must comply with laws on the environment. He said the mandate of the agency is to take care of the environment as provided for in the EPA Act of 2008 as amended in 2010. He said the protection of the environment is key in the priorities of the new direction.
To assure you that this is a new direction, and His Excellency, the President, retired President Julius Malema, has intimated and reiterated that we should create an enabling environment for investors. We should not be here trying to push people away from our country. We should encourage investors. I'm not saying you don't comply with environmental issues, but what I'm saying is, as long as you comply, and from all what I've read about you, I think you are doing a good job.
The Director, Environment Protection Agency, Mamadou Ba, encouraged companies to continue to work in line with international best practice of environmental protection. Dr. Fode Jawad also addressed the people of Mano Dase, that's a chiefdom in Moyamba district, and the Jojwema Women's Group in Environmental Protection in Jojwema, Kailahun district, where he commended them for complementing government efforts in environmental protection. Reporting for SABC News, I'm Sheku.
In the new direction, governments will invest in young entrepreneurs, young agriculturists and scientists who will invent the next tools and machineries that will move Sierra Leone forward. This is according to the Minister of Youth Affairs. Mohamed Oman Bangura was addressing young people in observance of the 2018 International Youth Day in Kenema. Maya Masuma reports.
This was how the Minister of Youth Affairs and his deputy joined the youth to celebrate this year's International Youth Day. The day is celebrated every 12th of August to recognize the efforts governments are making towards the development and progress of young people. 12 August was first designated as International Youth Day by the United Nations General Assembly in 1999 and serves as an annual celebration of young people as essential partners in change and an opportunity to raise awareness of challenges and problems facing them. In Kenema district, youth drawn from different parts of the country, together with international delegates from Liberia, Ghana and Gambia, converged to discuss issues that are affecting them. Minister of Youth Affairs Mohamed Oman Bangura said youth need safe spaces where they can come together, engage in activities related to their diverse needs and interests, participate in decision-making processes, and freely express themselves. The minister said the celebration presented a unique opportunity for young people to break new grounds, push for more progress, explore more opportunities, and build a solid future.
Let's fight corruption so that we save space for youth. Corruption has been the fabric that has been hitting us in our society. As Sierra Leoneans, we never lack sweet ideas. As Sierra Leoneans, we never lack good projects. As Sierra Leoneans, we never lack laws, compliance, implementation. One may ask, why is it that we've got fancy projects, we've got fancy ideas, but yet they are yet to be realized? It's because of corruption.
Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Food Security Francis Ndanema presented statistics that approximately 67% of the youth in the nation are unemployed and predominantly live in urban cities looking for menial jobs as a way to survive. He confirmed that government is fully aware of the challenges and that they are ready to collaborate with the youth.
His Excellency, retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, has at its cardinal principle 4 issues. One is discipline. And you see, one of the reasons why Sierra Leone is poor is because we are indisciplined in this country. We are not disciplined. And any society that is indisciplined will remain poor.
Representative from the United Nations said in ensuring safe spaces for youth, they should be encouraged in decision-making. She added while there are many types of spaces, safe spaces ensure the dignity and safety of youth. Safe spaces such as civic spaces enable youth to engage in governance issues. Public spaces afford youth the opportunity to participate in sports. Looking at the theme for this year's International Youth Day celebration, which is safe spaces for youth, wherein they can come together and engage themselves. But the question is, are there any safe spaces for the youth in the country where they can discuss issues relating to their needs? For some youth in the Kenema district, there is nothing to celebrate, as so many of them are without jobs. Some of the girls have dropped out of schools, are now pregnant at an early age, while the boys are now drug addicts.
For me, I don't think this day is worth celebrating. There are no signs of improvement towards the youths in the country. The youths are lacking development. We are asking the government to create job opportunities for us, empower the youth, create a space for where they can go and learn something for their future.
Let them create a space where we will able benefit we now and we future.
The occasion was climaxed with a football competition between the youth of Kenema district and that of Freetown, which saw the minister and his deputy in the field of play. SLBC News, Mariama Suma reporting.
The government, in collaboration with Seli Hydropower, has received acres of land in Diang Chiefdom, Koinadugu District, and Kalatumba Chiefdom in Tonkolili for the implementation of the Bumbuna Phase 2 project. The Minister of Energy, Kanja Sese, said, when completed, the project will contribute over 143 megawatts of electricity to the national grid and assured the nation of 80 megawatts of farm power all year round. He made the statement at the handing over ceremony of the land. Joseph Ture filed in this report.
Sustainable energy is one of the benchmarks for economic development in any country. Also, it encourages investors, creates jobs, and many more. Welcoming the team, the paramount chief of Dian Chiefdom, Sheku Kromadi Ford, said it is a dream come true for them in the chiefdom. He noted that life is light, and as a community, they are willing to provide the land to the government for the implementation of the Bumbuna Phase 2 project. The paramount chief also urged his people to embrace the project and contribute positively to it. Giving an overview of the project, Executive Chairman Seli Hydropower, Patrick Becklin, said they will build schools, church, mosque, and community centers as part of the resettlement package. He added that the project, which involves $800 million United States dollars, will also create 2,500 jobs. Mr. Becklin assured the people that the project will change their lives and benefit the country as a whole.
Bumbuna Phase 2 will be providing 143 megawatts in addition to the existing 50 megawatts at Bumbuna Phase 1 site. We believe this is part of increasing capacity, generating capacity, and also providing additional access to as many Sierra Leoneans as possible. The project will be a public-private partnership between the government and Seli Hydropower and its shareholders, and we believe it's a big benefit, of immense benefit, not only to the community, but to the nation at large. So we're thankful that His Excellency the President is supporting us.
The Minister of Energy, Kanja Sese, said this government will ensure that energy becomes a priority for all.
Very, very happy that we have him with us this time. We are carrying a very understanding and sincere group of investors who are coming here. And they've had first-hand from the communities, and they've had our own commitment to the people of this country, or to the people of this chiefdom and this area. We made a commitment to them that this time around the benefits of this project, first beneficiary should be the area in which the project comes from.
Minister of State North Abu Abu and the Deputy Minister of Information and Communications, lawyer Solomon Jamiru, called on the people to put national interests above personal interests. The team also made a visit to the Bumbuna Dam to get first-hand information on its current status.
President Julius Maada Bio has pledged his government's commitment to taking development to the people of Bonth district. The president made the pledge during his thank you tour to the district. The event took place at the Matrujong Town Barre and attracted a lot of dignitaries within the district. Hawa Mosire has more on that story.
This welcome for President Bio has been described by many as one of its kind for a sitting president for many years. President Bio is an indigene for this district that has been neglected by successive governments for many years despite the enormous potential for development. This visit is an indication that the people of Bonth district now see President as the savior who has come to turn things around for the better. Welcoming the President, Paramount Chief A.B. Sharif of Jong Chiefdom said they were pleased to receive their son, who has risen to the highest office in the land. He said despite all the discrimination and intimidation from the previous government, Bond District had always remained relentless and committed to bringing their son to power. Honorable Alice Kumabe of Constituency 92, who spoke on behalf of the members of Parliament for Bond District, said they were excited as indigents of Bond to see one of them as president, and thanked to God for the opportunity of raising President Bio to the highest peak of the land. She described the visit as unique, as one of them who used to come around has now come in a different capacity, the President of Sierra Leone. She said the journey of President Julius Maada Bio to the presidency was not an easy task, but with the grace of God, he conquered. President Bio thanked the people of Matrujong for their unrivaled support to elect him as president. President Bio, who received the highest vote from the district in terms of percentage, said he was proud about the support he received from his home district, which he said showed they were ready for the presidency.
Bond don't decide, and the other parts of the country definitely join for saying yes, Maada Bio for be the president.
I told you all that despite being the smallest district in the country, we must show determination that we were serious about our candidate, and indeed, your votes show that you have decided another part of the country join you to elect me as president.
We will check all the votes around the country. Bond District, in terms of percentage, vote the highest for the president.
In Tim Sogbeni Chiefdom, his fatherland, it was jubilation throughout the village to receive President Julius Maada Bio and First Lady Fatima Bio. Residents, including parents, students, pupils, and youth, demonstrated love for President Julius Maada Bio, calling him Messiah. They were particularly appreciative of their free education policy by government. The First Lady Fatima Bio also thanked the people of Matrujon and Tim Sogbeni Chiefdom for their relentless effort in participating in the just concluded elections. She assured them of her fullest support, especially for the women and children. She called on the women to make sure that their children benefit from the free education. The visit, according to the First Lady, was to appreciate the people for their commitment towards the Sierra Leone People's Party. President Bio informed the gathering that the visit was to thank the people of Bond for their support during the past elections. She called on the local authorities to work for the development and pledged that the government will bring developments to the district. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, Hawa Mosire reporting.
President Julius Maada Bio has bid farewell to intended pilgrims at the National Stadium in Freetown. The ceremony attracted over 800 intended pilgrims, relatives, and well-wishers. Here's a report.
Over 800 intended pilgrims will leave the shores of Sierra Leone for this year's pilgrimage, according to the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo. The Vice President was recently instructed by President Bio to set up a committee to oversee the Hajj program with the collaboration of the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children's Affairs. The Deputy Minister of Social Welfare, Haji Kela, thanked President Bio and his vice for providing the scholarships for the Hajj program, and also the committee members for the relentless effort, adding that all preparations have been made for them in Mecca. A member of the committee, Sheikh Ali Kale, stated that this year's Hajj is well planned and organized. He commended the government for a job well done. President Julius Maada Bio commended the Hajj committee for a job well done, noting that organizing the Hajj program is a positive move of his government's New Direction agenda. SABC TV News Eye in Freetown, Hawa Mosire reporting.
The Sierra Leone Red Cross Society and the African Development Bank have provided cleaning and utility equipment to 7 communities affected during the August 14, 2017 mudslide and flooding. They also trained 30 participants from each community on emergency first aid knowledge and skills. Sheila Reffel files in this report.
The Sierra Leone Red Cross Society, which was established by an Act of Parliament in 1962, is known for its humanitarian work in Sierra Leone. It has 3 components, which consist of the International Committee of the Red Cross National Society, and the International Federation of the Red Cross, which all carry protective logos of the convention to which Sierra Leone is a signatory. The administrative trainer for Red Cross Society, Sylvester Rena, said that the Red Cross Society has helped from the African Development Bank, the Office of National Security, and the Freedom State Council to make this presentation. They will also make sure that they will be monitoring the communities to see and make sure they use the equipment wisely.
Sierra Leone Red Cross, not only the Sierra Leone Red Cross Society, the ONS, the Swiss Council, that's why we have the councillors in the community. We are liaising with the councillors and other community stakeholders to see that they use this equipment judiciously to its desired goal, so that we benefit the community and they don't just dump it and forget about it.
Speaking on behalf of the Wellington community, Maya Tukoyate said they appreciate the Red Cross for the kind of gesture and the clean equipment which is timely as the rains are here.
We are grateful to the Sierra Leone Red Cross Society. During the flooding last year, our community was affected.
Omaru Santigi Kagbo, one of the training participants, said the Wellington community is a vulnerable community and they are grateful to be part of the training. He has learned a lot more, especially how to keep the environment clean. He will bring his experience from the training to other communities who are not part of the training session.
And to end the news, the main points again. Sierra Leone has observed the first anniversary of the August 15 mudslide and flash floods that killed hundreds in Freetown. After being addressed by President Biya, Sierra Leonean pilgrims have left for this year's Hajj. And Sierra Leone has joined the world to celebrate International Youth Day. That's all in this edition of News Hour. Thanks for your time. I am Alice Mayama Thompson. Good night.
I want to start by saying thank you to God.
Where you go, you come. You must away from home could be boring, but not when you are at a place that has not much difference from home. So, if you are interested in a weekend, it might just be this one place in Kenema, Luwawa Resort. At Luwawa Resort, you can find comfortable villas furnished with everything one might need on a weekend getaway, like single and executive suites that are fully air-conditioned, high-standard beds, DSTV with which you don't get to miss your news, movies or football matches. At our bar, you get to relax with chilled drinks of your choice and even keep company with friends and families. Plus, a swimming pool to cool off when it's hot. Make it a date with Luwawa Resort situated at Dima area, Wama Abu Road, Kenema. For booking and reservation, you can call us on 079-533-464 or 099-937-163 or 099-937-437. Luwawa Resort, an ideal place for relaxation and escape from daily routine.
Mina Musa, na Omolanke at the push for get me living. Skade, where I be the buy credit, the credit say done fast. In Ali Fole, I use my phone because the top up be so dear. But now, I tell God thank you, wait till I talk, now no more the cut.
Enjoy the most affordable tariff bill and at the most transparent way. Talk for 1 second and only pay for that second the way you talk. Salon now we home. And the people them now we fumble. That's make we ready for you na first class mobile service experience.
Orange.
Oh, you're bagging number 10. You can don't beat the number 5. You don't beat the number 2. Face to face and the keeper. Goal! Ah, Barry, to God, this is take something. I don't believe Barry take something. Trust me. La no lie, take something. Ben, you know what they take? Bomba yogurt. You see bomba yogurt? It will make it different. It fast. You see, Pete, lie, I tell you, it get protein, it get vitamin, they make it fierce. Bomba yogurt. It then that cool my way get that to tire with the bubble they can they ride. The fine one. Never take something. Bomba yogurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Seattel's 4G LTE. Buying your Seattel data bundles just got easier. Now you can use the Seattel customer webcare portal to buy data bundle. Whenever you see the screenshot pop up, it means your data is finished. Buy your recharge cards from any Seattel retailer and follow the following steps. Type webcare.lte.seattel.sl in any URL, that is Google, Chrome or Internet Explorer. Enter username, password and click login. That is the login credentials shared through email address given during registration. Your customer details and monetary balance can be seen from the home page. Click drop-down menu on your top right-hand corner. Click on My Plan. Subscribe add-on. Now subscribe to any plan of your choice by clicking the plus sign. Now enjoy Seattel 4G LTE. You can also recharge through this platform by clicking recharge and enter voucher details and submit. Also, note that this app can work from any smartphone, laptop, tablet with internet connection, but you can access the portal to buy data even without internet connection. Seattel is making life easy. Seattel. Now we own.
come to one end for thee. Salon, forsake of peace and one more.
The people, the power, the public, and the squire, where the people come to tell it all, ask questions, and demand answers on the way they are governed. The Public Squire is the platform for discourse on topical issues to bring about change in the governance of the nation. Be a part of SLBC TV every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. as the nation's broadcaster debates hot burning issues of the day. The Public Squire, where the people converge every Sunday 4 to 6 p.m. on SLBC.
save this land with love.
Where they want from here? But you can see the current so heavy that it reach don't collapse. So must know how this current be so heavy. Then time bridge here, when then time heavy rain there come, it sweep and make them. So now so the and over yonder way they so now water side. Now under the bridge where the water they go empty at the big sea. Remember say the water where they come out now it is empty inside the big sea. But for more 2 years, they say people have been over now Spain where one comra here in 3 beginning the day inside the earth. We don't know now if they don't put it in a over and Spain inside the music they play so. They say the comra and in 3 beginning whether lady be they cry. Say it's 3 beginning. When we go burn us and call them be able to pull them or they're not be able to survive but we go know. Then the person put stick back. Yes. They put stick back. Did you know?
The heavy downpour this morning in Freetown affected every part as the death toll continued to rise. Recent reports indicate that over 300 dead bodies have been discovered so far and presently at the Connaught mortuary. One such a